Yeah.
Sorry, Chair. Just reading the report here, does the report not state that fox hunting is banned on council-owned land, so therefore the motion is mute?
So we'll allow Councillor Redwood to propose her motion and to speak on it.
Yeah, I'll address those points. Yeah. I think probably most people would view fox hunting as a very cruel and very barbaric sport. Well, I don't think it should be called a sport, quite honestly. Let's call it an activity. I mean, the idea that there can be any sort of humane treatment of a fox in a hunt is quite honestly laughable. There's nothing quick about a hunt. There's one report which I saw which talked about a 5-hour chase, you know, so this is a fox terrified for its life being chased to exhaustion across the land. The caption was 5 hours of pure adrenaline, you know, enjoyed by this particular individual who wrote the report. Foxes are not just pursued by horse, they can be pursued on foot, they can be pursued by car, by motorbikes, you know, a whole conglomeration of people pursuing these foxes. They can, you know, they'd be chased by packs of 20 to 60 dogs. You know, as I say, they're chased to exhaustion, then they're ripped apart while they're alive, disemboweled, dismembered. I've seen videos which show a fox when it's seeking refuge underground, that the huntspeople just go and get their spades or whatever and dig the fox out, pull it out, and feed it to their dogs. Or you can have dogs sent down the hole, in which case obviously there's going to be a very bloody battle underground. I've seen videos which show that the means of escape being prevented by blocking up the escape holes with rocks and branches and so on. They could be badger sets, they could be rabbit warrens and so on. There's a report, now this admittedly was in the UK, but the hunt was found bagging and burying the fox alive and left for the hounds to find. So, you know, the cruelty extends to the pack dogs as well, you know, how they're kept. The rescue centres get discarded dogs who are in emaciated conditions and so on. So, you know, it's not surprising that the majority of people in the country actually think it should be banned. So, you know, I commend Fingal Council for banning fox hunts from public recreational areas, but it is just public recreational areas. And there must be swathes of council-owned land which is not covered by park restrictions or open space restrictions. There's the question of the roads, which inevitably a hunt must use roads. And in fact, it is possible for hunts to apply to lease council land for such use, although there isn't, as I understand it anyway, none currently being used in that way. So, you know, obviously a national ban is needed, and, you know, Ruth Coppinger is drafting a bill for the Dáil at the moment. But, you know, the council can play its part as well. You know, it can send a message by passing this resolution, you know, and it's a step to encouraging other councils to do likewise. Imagine if all the councils in the country did that. That would be quite a huge step forward to actually getting a national ban. So, you know, I'd ask you to support the motion. It's about extending the restrictions that are currently in place. And, you know, I think it does reinforce the message that, you know, this barbaric activity should be banned completely. Thank you.
Councillor Tormey.
Thank you. I'd just like to support this motion, and while I agree it's probably more of a national issue in terms of the issues that were raised, I think even just the end of the report is enough that the whole council should support it, that, you know, if something did come up, that we would say no, because I just think it's incredibly sick and disturbing. Anyone who thinks hunting is in any way enjoyable, it's not. It's just and we need to be standing up to animal cruelty wherever we can. So thank you for bringing forward the motion.
Councillor Burtchaell.
Yeah, just to support Councillor Redwood's motion. It's incredible really that such vicious, savage treatment of animals is allowed for sport. You know, we're not a civilised society when such things go on. I mean, blood sports, the torture and the killing of animals for entertainment should be, you know, culturally, socially unacceptable. Those who engage in it should, you know, it should be made known to them that they're outside the bounds of civilization, hare coursing, you know, fox hunting obviously, and several other blood sports. Yeah, I mean, it's welcome that the council effectively have banned, you know, fox hunting on their lands, but really we should be looking at means to put an end to it in the county. So, for example, stopping hunts using public roads through bylaws or whatever mechanism we can, you know, really to harass them out of business, so to speak, because it's just an appalling thing to do to a wild animal, and we need to put an end to it. Thanks.
Councillor Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to Councillor Redwood for bringing this forward. I really strongly agree with this motion. I think it's disgusting what's going on out there. There's a sort of a percentage of people that want to hunt animals is just mind-boggling to me. And I do think that our mainstream media and schools should be educating children now to make them aware of what's going on at certain ages, of course. But just to push that out there now, so in the future there'll be no percentage of hunting foxes. It's horrific, and thank you, Mr. Redwood, to bring this forward.
Councillor Walsh.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Councillor Redwood for bringing forward this motion. I fully support it, and I think fox hunting is a vile practice. It's cruel, and it has no place in our society. I think it was, and I don't mean to diminish the seriousness of the debate by introducing a quote from Oscar Wilde, but I believe it was Oscar Wilde who said that the English country gentleman galloping after a fox was the unspeakable in full pursuit of the uneatable. And it's just fundamentally wrong. It's indefensible. I welcome the comment they've made about the bylaws. The report notes that our bylaws are reasonably stringent in terms of banning fox hunting, but I'm just looking at towards the end of the report, it does suggest that technically an application could be made from a group organising a hunt to license or use land, or to use council land which is leased to other groups, and the motion would close that. If that is a loophole, the motion would close it. I think that's a very good idea. I'd fully support it. The solution indeed is a national ban on fox hunting. But I think while the council has already a strong position on the bylaws, it's a very good idea to close off that loophole. And I think it's also a very good idea to send a clear message that we think it's a cruel, vile practice that's unacceptable. Extraordinary that we're still having to debate whether fox hunting is unacceptable in the 21st century. Thanks to Councillor Redwood.
Councillor Mulville.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I'd like to support Councillor Redwood's motion and to commend her for bringing it here today. And indeed, I think there will be an effect if we do hopefully pass the motion. And it should, you know, we do have something in terms of our parks and open spaces, which is good, but our public roads, and surely if someone's organising an event of this size, they must apply for some kind of road closure licence or some kind of events licence, and hopefully our ban would apply to that too and would prevent such events taking place across Fingal, on Fingal land and on the public roads. And indeed, from speaking to private landowners, from Fingal farmers in the past, they've been very, you know, their lands, their farms have been disrupted by the hunts going through them. You know, oftentimes in the past, maybe I'm not sure in the case now, but in the past certainly breaking down fences and, you know, affecting the running of their farm. So maybe it's something that definitely a national ban would be great to see, and I'm sure private landowners might appreciate it too. And indeed, best of luck to Deputy Coppinger Bail, and hopefully you'll get the support of all the TDs, and the ban will come in place on a national basis. Thanks, Chair.
Councillor Healy.
Vera, and I'd also like to thank Councillor Redwood for bringing this motion, which certainly so far reflects the consensus of the council here. I agree with Councillor Burtchaell as well that we should start looking at what further actions we might take. I think this is a good start, and maybe there is more, or maybe there isn't, but as Councillor Mulville has said, maybe there are issues to do with the use of the roads. Certainly one thing we could do is we could circulate this motion if we agree it. We usually have on our agenda motions that have been circulated to us by other counties or councils, and maybe we might do the same, and they might follow this example. But very happy to support this. Thank you, Councillor.
Councillor Redwood. Oh, Councillor Ryan. You just got in.
Just a quick one in relation to clarification of the situation with regard to events that we all see around North Fingal, kind of right throughout the winter. We see kind of people, hunting on kind of farmland. What is the situation if one of those hunts, which doesn't require kind of a permit, strays onto public land? What powers are available to the council in terms of pursuing that if such transgression is reported?
Before I bring Councillor Redwood back in, is there a clarification in relation to the land, some of the questions that are raised?
If we have the details and the evidence that they are crossing the public open space or parks, then we can issue a notice under the bylaws, but the authorised officer can issue a notice. But we would have to have detailed information on it, but it is prohibited under the bylaws. It would be brought to their attention.
Councillor Redwood.
I mean, nobody's really made any contradictory points or contentious points, so I think, I'll just ask for the motion to be agreed. I think that the suggestion to circulate the motion to other councils would be very good. Maybe that could be taken up. So I'll just ask for that to be agreed.
Okay, so that motion is agreed. Agreed. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Is it also agreed to circulate it to agreed? Okay, great.